But Democrats are perhaps the only group of individuals who are not even acknowledging the fact that they have brought negotiations on the 38th parallel, for which they've been at war for 6.5 decades. We now have Democrats preoccupying themselves in Washington with a character assassination, which, as many are pointing out, is a character assassination led by Senator Jon Tester of Montana, who is in perhaps one of the toughest Senate races of this midterm election, attacking Ronny Jackson, the White House doctor who was nominated for...
Who has now withdrawn his name for the VA secretary. And we've watched this play out over the last week. And you got to feel for this guy. And you listen to President Trump, and he's feeling for him because this is someone that has served our country. He has been dragged through the mud so publicly. And now we are finding that many of these accusations, there is no there.
Correct.
And you feel for him because what happens now? Where does he go? You know, obviously he goes back and continues to be the doctor, but this is not fair to do to someone.
Do you know why President Trump and others call CNN and places like that fake news? Because they go wall to wall on anonymously sourced accusations as if it's fact. And they put a banner up there and they make someone look bad. And what happened here with Ronny Jackson is they took anonymous sources from Jon Tester and said, this is exactly what Ronny Jackson did. Well, first we're going to play what Donald Trump said about Ronny Jackson yesterday, and then we're going to play some sound from CNN. Listen, first of all, on Trump on Ronny Jackson.
Ronny Jackson, Admiral Doctor, is one of the finest men that I've met over the last long period of time. These were false accusations about a great man, about a man that's given his life to this country and to the military. A brave man. He would have been a great leader.
Okay, so what we're learning this morning is that the Secret Service now says it has no record of an incident that the media has been reporting all week. So they finally now asked the Secret Service, did this happen? Because the Secret Service is a very... We're going to have Dan Bongino on. We'll ask him about it later on in the program.
Because he was accused of being at some Secret Service party, driving home drunk and getting in an accident, which now... They're saying that never happened. They've looked into this. And so this is what the media's been talking about for the past week. Just take a look at some of these moments from the media.
Exactly.
They say Jackson was intoxicated and banging on the door of a female employee.
You know, you can be woken up for an international event at any time, and the White House doctor can't be passed out because he went out drinking. I mean, any single one of these allegations is serious for any single one of the president's traveling staff, not to mention his doctor.
Allegations ranging from drinking on the job to overprescribing medications that got him the nickname Mr. Candyman among subordinates.
This is going to be Ronny Jackson's reputation that is going to continue to get sullied.
This is a reminder, Griff, I think, for reporters. You got to be careful. You got to know the facts before you go out there, because these are people's lives on the line. If Democrats really, if it wasn't about politics, which obviously it was, why not go to the White House behind closed doors and say, we've got concerns about this guy. Can you take a look into him and make sure that he's properly vetted before we get to vote on him? No, they didn't do that. They went so publicly to the media. And that's why I say that's just not fair to do to someone.
When you talk about facts, you know, this is an individual who's been there for 2 previous presidents. It's not like he has a newcomer. And they looked at the facts. He was involved in 3 automobile incidences, none of which he was found at fault, and none of which involved alcohol. And when you sling the drunk driving accusations, it's a serious misjudgment. You've made poor judgment in your life. It questions your credibility. But this is a guy who's established that credibility over the course of previous administrations, and now has had this accusation slung at him for which the facts do not bore.
Where's the credibility for CNN? What if I was to say right now, I just got an email from a constituent of Jon Tester. You know what I find out? He drinks all the time when he's home on constituent breaks. He's drunk at town halls. I got it from a constituent. He told me that. Now it's live on Fox
That's
News
a good
channel.
point.
That anybody can say anything about
an anonymous
anyone.
Source.
An anonymous source. And for CNN to do what they did, and MSNBC as well, it's not even journalism. It's utterly irresponsible. It's a smear campaign on a person's character, and they looked for the facts later. It turns out the Secret Service is like, that never happened. Tell that to the man who just got smeared for 3 days.
The biggest question is this person qualified to do the job? Right? You can dig so deeply into so many different things. Let's just focus on the job that he is being put forward for, figure out if he is qualified for that, and then, let him have a hearing. Let them ask the right questions to see if he's the right fit for that.
The damage is already done. It's too late for that.
See, that's the thing. The damage is already done.
Yeah.